Hey, what's up? JR Noble here, and coming to you live from SAE Institute up here in the dub stage, um, what we call the dub stage here at the school. Just got done teaching class a little bit ago, and I wanted to share a tip with you guys. Um just because I had a thought while I was in here. I was listening to some music of mine, and this space is a very well treated space if you can't tell. There's like all this amazing treatment on the walls, and there's all this stuff going on back here. You can see it's a really awesome theater. And so, if you are trying to mix your music and you want it to sound good, one really simple tip I have for you, I'll share with you in just a moment. Um, it, well, if I want to share that tip with you, what I have to do is explain why I had this thought and why I want to share you this tip. So the thing was, listening to music in this room. It's this space is meant for like theater and stuff like that, and for movies. And so I was playing one of my tracks in here that I was working on, and it was just this room. It doesn't have like a lot of low end. It doesn't really hit you with the low end. And I was thinking like, man, I really don't like the sound of this room because I don't like how my music sounds when I play it in here. But then thinking about it a little bit more, I was wondering, why is it that I don't like this room? What is it about this room that I'm not a fan of? And really, what it comes down to is I'm just not used to listening to music in this space and how well it's treated. And some of the other spaces I've been in, they're not as well treated as this. And so my music sounds a little bit different in there. And so if you're listening to music, let's say in your apartment or your bedroom or whatever, and it's not very well treated, it's going to sound different. It might sound boomy. It might sound really good in your space, but when you take it to other places, it doesn't sound as good. So, what is it about that? Why is it that your music doesn't sound as good as you would like it to? Part of it is because of the room and the space and how it's treating your sounds and what it's doing to the sound as you're hearing it. So then, um, so what is it that you can do to kind of fix that or to combat that in a way so that you can get the mix or kind of a mix that you would like to have? And part of that comes from using something called a reference track. All right. And so if you want to make your mixes better, one thing that you can do is use reference tracks of other mixes that you think are done really well. Preferably, I would suggest something in the pop space or something that has been like Grammy nominated or award winning, something in some way, right? Because the reason being is that somebody else has taken a lot of time, used a very well treated space, taken the time out to dial in that sound and get a really good sound. And if it's a song that you're used to listening to and a song that you really like listening to, there's a good chance that it was mixed really well. And if you want your stuff to be on point with that, then that's a good reference for you to use. And here's another reason for it too, is when you listen to it in your space, you'll know, like, if that's a really good mix and you know how it sounds really well, and you listen to that in your space, then you can start to hear what that sounds like in your room, and start to mix your songs to kind of try and match what that sounds like in your room. So in this space, because I wasn't used to this space and how my music sounded, what I did was I listened to other reference songs, things that I'm already familiar with and have used in other spaces, and then I hear how those sound in this room, and then now I understand why the low end doesn't sound the way I thought it should in a space like this, right? And it's because it's very well treated, and there's a lot of things going on to where the low end, you can actually hear the low end nice and clearly in here, and it's one of the hardest things to really manage when you're making mixes, especially if you're in like a small bedroom or apartment where the low end can get really boomy and stuff like that. So just a quick tip for you to help you with your mixes. Using a reference mix is definitely using somebody else's track that's been professionally mixed and mastered and put out and has won some awards and those kind of things. Those are generally some of the better tracks to use in your own space and listen to them there. So that's a simple little tip for getting some better mixes or improving your mix at least. It gives you a kind of a benchmark for your ears to hear in your space what the bass sounds like, or what the high end sounds like, or what the stereo imaging is kind of like in your space. So that's my suggestion to you. That's something I picked up from some other mentors of mine that I've had since I've been out here in LA. and just wanted to pass that along to you. So if that helps you out in any way, if you got any kind of value out of that, be sure to drop a comment below and let me know what you like best about this live stream. And also be sure to hit the subscribe button so that way you can keep getting more info like this. And again, thanks for taking the time to check out this video. And my name is J.R. Noble. You can check me out at jrnoble.co as well. All right. So I will talk to you again soon. Later.